Remember when Anthony Davis essentially quit on his team and forced his way out of New Orleans? Or when Jimmy Butler demanded a trade several times and refused to play unless his request was met? Well, it's one thing to approach the front office to request a trade. It's another to completely quit or even sabotage your own team's game plan in the middle of a game. In the eyes of some fans, their reputation for being quitters has never recovered. In this video, let's take a look at numerous times players hit rock bottom and gave up on their teams in the most precarious of situations.
Rajon Rondo is in his 9th season in the NBA. Rondo dishes to Ellis, splashes in a time three-pointer.
Rajon Rondo. In terms of being polarizing in the court of public opinion, Rondo is probably the player with the biggest divisive image. If you're a Celtics fan, you love him for everything he brought to the franchise. If you're a Lakers fan, you're probably okay with him because he helped you win a championship. If you're a Mavericks fan, however, you're booing him at every single opportunity. On December 18th, 2014, with the Boston Celtics eager to move in a new direction in the post-Big Three era, they would also trade away Rajon Rondo to the Dallas Mavericks. What initially seemed like a great pickup for a Mavs team looking to get back into contention, it quickly turned into a cesspool of drama.
Having a heated exchange. I mean, he is just telling him, sit your you-know-what down.
Upon his arrival, he did not get along with Rick Carlisle. Now, for those who don't know about Rick, he doesn't like giving free reins to his point guard or any player to do whatever they want, no matter their status. Instead, he prefers calling his own plays and simply have his point guard run them. This did not sit well with Rondo, who felt like Rick's game plan stunted the freedom and creativity of his game. Rondo is a point guard who thrives playing in an open space. He likes to play within the feel and flow of the offense, as opposed to a rigid game plan that Carlisle imposes. Rondo also happens to have a pretty big ego, as does Rick Carlisle, so the two of them butted heads immediately. Anyway, as the 2014-15 season chugged along with both parties trying to put their differences aside, the Mavs still won 50 games that year. Quite impressive for how discombobulated they were. Then the playoffs started.
Now Rondo, very quick foul. 10 seconds into the third quarter is his third foul in the arena and on the scoreboard.
4 on Rondo right now.
In Game 2 against the Houston Rockets, Rondo quit in the middle of the game. He played 10 minutes and got benched for the rest of it. Shortly after the game concluded, the Mavs announced Rondo would be leaving the team and not be back. A complete turn of events from the initial reactions of the trade that brought him here. Dallas had hopes that Rondo would fit in and re-sign with the team, but after what happened here, after literally quitting mid-game, that was out of the question. One would suggest that Rondo quitting on the Mavs was the epitome of his overinflated ego and his selfishness of refusing to put the team above himself. In reality, it was a bit more nuanced. Quote, "When I was brought to Dallas, they told me, we want you to be Jason Kidd, we want you to be vocal, we want you to run this offense, we want you to do your thing as far as quarterbacking a team." But then, in one particular game, Rick Carlisle berated him and started stomping on the floor as he yelled at Rondo for not following a play call. Rondo felt it was disrespectful and thought he was being treated like a rookie instead of a veteran and champion. Simply put, it was a total clash of personalities. Carlisle's coaching style did not match Rondo's play style. With some miscommunication sprinkled in, both of them reached their limit, and this ultimately pushed Rondo out of Dallas. Kobe Bryant. Kobe's career is typically acknowledged in 2 phases, his first three-peat with Shaq and his back-to-back championships with Pau Gasol later in his career. What's usually forgotten are the years in between, when Kobe was playing at an all-time level, yet his teammates were at the worst they've ever been. His 2006 playoff run in particular, against the Suns, with Kobe having arguably his most legendary playoff series ever.
Here comes George to Kobe Bryant. Bryant inside. It's good.
Good shot here.
Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Bang!
Though it eventually ended in a loss. What's been forgotten, however, is his 2007 playoff run, where he faced the Suns again, but lost in a much more embarrassing 5 games. That brings us to Game 5 of that series, the Lakers' elimination game, where Kobe took an abnormally low 3 shots in the entire second half, and 0 shots in the fourth quarter. Why? Why did the NBA's most prolific shot taker decide to, stop taking shots? Well, behind the scenes, Kobe and the front office had been butting heads all season long, and the back and forth centered around his style of play, and perhaps he was the one who needed to change if the Lakers wanted to win. He took a ludicrous amount of difficult shots, and constantly threw his team under the bus whenever they lost. The Lakers media piled on him. They were like, hey, if he got his teammates involved more, maybe they would win more games. Kobe, as expected, did not like the vast amount of criticism, so he threatened to request a trade by the summer. In fact, it was almost a guarantee that Kobe would ask out of LA and seek a better opportunity elsewhere. So entering the 2007 playoffs, there was a real chance this would be the last time we saw Kobe in a Lakers uniform. As the underdogs once again, and facing the Phoenix Suns once again, there was an air of uncertainty surrounding his future with this team. Game 5 was the game where it was widely speculated he quit on his team. He took a preposterous 30 shots in the first half, as the Lakers fell down by 12 at halftime. Then, as I mentioned earlier, he took only 3 shots in the second half. But funny enough, the Lakers actually outscored the Suns in the second half, with Kobe passing the ball more. So statistically, the team did play better when Kobe passed more. Perhaps the Lakers were onto something. Considering Kobe's gravity, he faced entire defenses designed to stop him. So in theory, his teammates should benefit more if he passes. Alas, this moment left yet another stain on Kobe's legacy, though it was quickly forgotten as the Lakers rebuilt and Kobe captured 2 more championships not too long after. LeBron James. The best way to describe LeBron's first stint in Cleveland is a one-man army. He carried some absolutely horrific rosters to 60-plus wins in back-to-back years, where his team unfortunately came up short in both of those years. Prior to LeBron's disappearing act in the 2011 finals, it was the 2010 semifinals versus the Celtics, where even his most die-hard fans started to question his desire to win.
The ball momentarily and forcing the shot up as the shot.
With the series tied 2-2, Game 5 was on the Cavs' home court. This was their chance to stomp their foot on the Celtics' throat. But they lost by 32. The famous quit game, as Skip Bayless likes to call it. LeBron scored just 15 points on 3 of 14 shooting. But it wasn't just his lack of production. It seemed kinda strange. LeBron had been playing very well before that, but now he looked so disengaged and uninterested. Yeah, it was a blowout, but even when the game started, he was completely out of it, mentally. So what happened? Do you remember the rumor of Delonte West sleeping with LeBron's mother? Well, it was around this time when that rumor rose to the public sphere. And some folks speculated LeBron confirmed it between games 4 and 5 against Boston. That's why he was so withdrawn for the rest of the series, as the Cavs lost games 5 and 6 and got eliminated. Years later, Delonte West denied these rumors and claimed he never had an affair with LeBron's mother. But the damage was done. The rumors filled the headlines, and LeBron couldn't take it anymore. While he left Cleveland that same summer to chase a championship in Miami, the Delonte West rumors played a huge role in his departure as well, as the reporters would non-stop ask him about it. Vince Carter. Upon his arrival to Toronto, Carter's ascendance into superstardom coincided with basketball's explosion in popularity in Canada. Unlike the Vancouver Grizzlies, who were forced to relocate a few years later, the Raptors had staying power due to one man alone. Carter was up there with the likes of Kobe, Shaq, and even Allen Iverson in terms of celebrity status, and he did it all while playing for a city with a brand new expansion team. The Carter craze reached its climax in the 2000 Slam Dunk Contest, where he captivated the world.
Carter with his first shot. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen.
Then, in the 2001 playoffs, his second-round series against Allen Iverson was one of the most anticipated matchups in a long time. But unfortunately, that would be the last time Carter was relevant in a Raptors jersey. Fast forward to this particular season, and everything Carter built came crashing down. On the verge of missing the playoffs for consecutive years, his resentment towards his teammates and the organization slowly built up over the years. Over the previous summer, the Raptors fired their entire coaching staff to try and rebuild around Carter to hopefully field a competitive team again. Those hopes were crushed when Carter requested a trade. Requested is a bit generous. He demanded one and did everything possible to sabotage his own team until his demands were met. For instance, on November 12, 2004, a game between the Raptors and Seattle Supersonics came down to the final possession. A possession where the Raptors attempted to draw up a play to win the game. Then, according to Ray Allen, Carter approached the Sonics bench and told everyone the exact play the Raptors were gonna run. And that's what happened. They ran that exact play, and of course, they failed to convert. This crossed the line. In 20 games, Carter averaged 16 points a game, a far cry from his previous seasons. About a month later, the Raptors traded him to the New Jersey Nets. For the next 15 years, whenever Carter returned to Toronto, the environment was hostile. Fans relentlessly taunted and heckled him for not only quitting on his team, but betraying his teammates. If you were to ask me back then if Toronto would ever retire Carter's jersey, there's no shot in hell. So when they actually did in 2024, I was shocked. Unbelievable, actually. I guess the phrase "time heals all wounds" holds true after all.
But my heart was full of joy to finally have that moment with you all.
It kinda makes you wonder if Oklahoma City will eventually retire Kevin Durant's jersey. Yes, he did leave in free agency, but he never sabotaged his own team or did anything as bad as what Carter did. Oh, I'm sure it'll happen eventually, but even now, it's difficult to imagine that. Dennis Rodman. Just like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman's final season in Chicago was in 1998. But his career wasn't over yet.
I can't wait till they put him in the game to hear the noise. 6-5.
I hope he puts his shoes on before he goes in.
He hasn't done it in any other team.
The Lakers signed him, hoping he'd be a positive veteran presence for a locker room filled with young players who could use his experience. But expecting Dennis Rodman to provide veteran leadership is kinda whack. Immediately upon his arrival, Rodman literally disappeared for 2 weeks to gamble in Vegas. In an article from 1999, the author Beth Harris wrote, "The team wanted his rebounding and defense, which it got, but he's done plenty to disrupt too, arriving late, not showing up at all, taking a leave of absence, refusing to go into games, getting ejected, and ripping his teammates for their lack of effort. He routinely missed practices, and there was a lot going on off the court, including a messy divorce from his ex-wife." When the Lakers were asked about his absence, they'd always make excuses for him, saying things like, "Oh, that's just who he is," or "that's what we expected." But in the upper brass of management, they were not pleased. In the lockout-shortened season, Rodman appeared in only 23 of 50 games, subsequently getting waived a few weeks before the playoffs started. Hilariously, the Mavericks tried their hand at the Rodman roulette a year later. Dallas is his hometown after all, so maybe playing for them will ignite his desire to actually show up and try. Dude appeared in just 12 games for the Mavs before calling it quits. Much like his time in LA, Rodman simply lost the passion for the sport he once had, and did not bother showing up half the time, or helping this young Mavs team at all. Nor was he a fan of how intrusive Mark Cuban was when it came to managing the team. It's quite funny, but it's exactly how I imagined Rodman's career would end. And those were 5 NBA players who quit on their teams in the most absurd manner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Can you think of any other players who literally quit mid-game or mid-season on their teams and sabotaged them, hoping they'd lose? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.